At the time of the initial pandemic and the response that was required from leaders in the organization, I think we had to focus very carefully on work. I didn't have the opportunity to do a lot of work-life balance or self-care. You know, there's 800 people at Affinity Credit Union, and they collectively turned their heads to us and said, how do we navigate through this? Do we stay open? Do we close? Are we safe? And that took a tremendous amount of energy. So I say I failed your question. But you know, one of the lessons I'm trying to learn through the pandemic is giving myself permission that at that time, I think that's what we needed as an organization, and that's what I, as a leader, felt like I needed to contribute. So I didn't do well. I did all work, and then I turned my mind to my children as soon as the work kind of immediate safety crisis was resolved. And now I'm working on focusing on myself and kind of trying to, you know, recover and rebuild.
Not unlike Heather, I found there were two gears. There was the work gear, which was high gear, as Heather said, you know, very responsive to providing leadership to the organization, to our employees, to our members, to our communities, very responsive. But at home, it was a much lower and slower gear. I'll use a quick story. I'm an empty nester right now. My wife and I are empty nesters. And I phoned my son up, who lives not too far away, and I asked him, you know, in this uncertain time, and this was in the peak of the uncertainties, I said, you know, let's go for a 15-minute walk. And we went for what we thought was going to be a 15-minute walk. It turned into an hour and a half walk, and we talked, we laughed, we reminisced, and it's something that, you know, we benefited from this crisis. We never would have spent an hour and a half together doing something like that. So it was a much slower pace on the more important things in life versus the fast gear that Heather was talking about at the when we come into work.